welcome back. Lumi's giving me the silent treatment. You think he's the one who just woke up? It's me. I've had a long 24 hours of casting. Lumi's had a long, like, almost 24 hours of casting. But we've got ourselves a SinaCup, the Supernova Dota 2 Open, as it's going to be a best of one. We're in the loser bracket here. It's OguraYui up against Rattlesnake Gaming. I'm Gods. Joining me is Luminous.
Who won the last one? Was it Alliance?
SinaCup?
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably. Okay.
Yeah, when in doubt, Alliance won it, so.
Okay, alright. Let's jump ourselves in the game here. OguraYui on the Radiant side. Now Siren Visage is going to be their pickup. Rattlesnake is going to have Lifestealer and Chen. So, this is the best of one series in the loser bracket of the SinaCup. Loser goes home, winner moves on or stay alive to fight on other teams. I think in 1v1 matchups or in single elimination games, do you think teams are going to be a little bit more reserved, a little bit more timid in terms of the picks? Are we going to see Spirit Breaker is what I'm asking?
Ooh, I'd love to see Spirit Breaker. OguraYui showing that the one game they actually won in the upper bracket in their series against Tongfu was with a very unconventional Spirit Breaker draft. So I think pulling something like that out is actually, I mean, I'd love to see it. It's 3 in the morning. Why the hell not?
Does it actually work here against... Because Spirit Breaker, as much as we love to see it, doesn't always particularly pan out against certain type of heroes. Does it work against Lifestealer and Chen so far?
Yep. It's... you've got bashes which can go through the rage. I think Chen is more of a problem because the Chen, what this draft suggests is more of a problem. Chen Lifesteal suggests you're going to really look to group up, push down, take a lot of towers around the mid-game stage, and that's something which Spirit Breaker can't really do a whole lot of against. Yesterday we saw Zhou end up like 0 and 12 on Spirit Breaker against a similar sort of draft, and it was just because they were always grouped up. He was the one forced to go in and initiate to start off the fights, and I mean he was playing this sort of tanky carry initiator who just didn't really stand a chance.
Yeah, and now they're going to have Naga Siren and Visage as kind of dual supports. We talked about how these two supports are kind of the best supports you could possibly get despite not really having too much lockdown. A true lockdown, I guess. Weaver's going to get the pickup. And when you add Weaver to the equation, what I'm really worried about for OguraYui is the lack of AoE to blow down creep waves as the creep waves coming. You have Riptide, which is nice. You have Swarm, that's okay. But you really want things like, for example, Dragon Slave or Power Shot or a Fissure. And so far, they don't have anything of that.
Yeah, they need some better, more reliable AoE. It's like Weaver, the Swarm is kind of nice for stalling, but it's whether or not it's going to be enough on its own, we'll have to wait and see. They can pick up some solo mid with some AoE spam, but they need to get something, and also just sort of I don't know, dealing with this kind of a push strat is not going to be easy. It's going to be Rattlesnake picking up a puck though. Interesting to note with some of these rosters, we actually see MERACLE playing on the OguraYui side. I don't believe that was the case before. This is actually the MERACLE from Singapore playing for this Chinese team. I believe he's playing, I imagine he's playing from Singapore, but who knows?
MERACLE was
the first departure carry player, but he played like the amazing Wisp games in the TI3 qualifiers.
I've also seen MERACLE on Bang Bang FC.
Yep.
Is he the same MERACLE?
Yes.
Okay.
He's kind of... He jumps around a bit.
Our logo died.
Yeah, it's Windows update.
Steam update. Volvo fixing.
Our background TV rotator decided to restart. So.
Okay. All right. So I think moving on to the draft, I need OguraYui. I mean, their lanes are absolutely perfect so far. When you have Naga Siren, Visage, and Weaver, like these are 3 of the most versatile laners there is. So I think they just need to pick up good heroes. Remember what we talked about in the pick 3 good heroes and then the random strat? Feels like they need randoms a good AoE right now.
As far as AoE goes, like you're most likely going to be coming out from some kind of a solo mid hero, like with it's a DK, a Windrunner, some kind of just AoE spam. I think DK would actually fit really well.
There you go.
Having a direct stun against this range stun is fantastic against Lifestealer, Puck, even the Chen to a lesser extent, but having the AoE damage to bring down his creeps. But Puck and Lifestealer actually don't match up too well against DK because of the instant stun. You can't really, you can have to rage well before you get in rage. Puck, you can't phase shift it, so DK really nice in this OguraYui lineup.
Yeah, I feel that Gyrocopter would be pretty good here if they didn't have, well, maybe Weaver could still go offensive tri-lane or just offensive lane by himself. Because Gyrocopter will call down Flat Cannon is a very easy way to shred down trend creeps. Earlier I was thinking about suggesting a Shadow Fiend before we saw a Dragonite, having the access to double raises in terms of weakening the creep wave. One problem with that is that Lifestealer and Puck could kind of just jump in pre and after BKB, could kind of just wreck you. At the same time, though, what we saw out
Radiant
of
team banned.
LG China yesterday was really good Naga Siren usage of the sleep against Lifestealer. When he comes in on you and rage and decides to attack, you Naga Siren sleep, and then it's a 5v1 situation, and Lifestealer gets really much shred down. And judging from the draft so
10
far,
seconds
Naga Siren
remaining.
will be able to do that.
Yeah.
Unless the Rattlesnake picks up yet another BKB carry.
5
Yeah,
And
seconds
worse, even
remaining.
that would be 5v2 instead.
To do that, you need the physical damage, and they've got it with the Dragon Knight as well as Weaver.
Yeah.
So
Reserve time.
definitely something they can look to do with Lifestealer. But we'll have to see what Rattlesnake round things up with as their sort of other core hero. Just Lifestealer alone, not normally played as sort of that one position only hard carry. They've got the puck. I think they need something like a Nature's Prophet for the offlane, something to provide sort of a
Rattlesnake's
secondary
turn to
semi-carry
bat.
option.
Yeah, how's Elder Titan here? It's a hero that we've been kind of
yeah.
asking for a bit. Do they have enough AoE to be set up? It seems like the Elder Titan and Lifestealer were never really picked together as a combo. At least not that I've seen.
I feel like
10
Elder
seconds
Titan's more of a
remaining.
hero that doesn't go around getting a lot of farm. He's just all about getting the levels and using his
5
spells to
seconds
sort of
remaining.
contribute to the team. It's similar to a puck in that way. Where puck, I mean, you need your blink dagger, but you're not going to be getting a lot of farm and taking it towards the late game, which is what I feel Rattlesnake need more of. They either need to go push, or they need to get another core hero.
I feel like Elder Titan is actually insane in terms of push, because during a push, he doesn't really necessarily kill the creep wave or damage tower very quickly, but he just puts an Astral behind the enemy tower,
Yeah.
and that really makes it hard for the enemy team to position themselves in a
10
way
seconds
to
remaining.
make a good defense. So that's why perhaps I was considering Elder Titan. But no, Rattlesnake says
Radiant
we're
team
banning out themselves.
Okay, well, OguraYui with their last pick. The other good thing about the Elder Time with there is it gives vision. It's similar to
Yes.
like how Bounty Hunter is actually not too bad when you're going for a push if you have 4 other good pushing heroes, because having track vision of knowing your opponent's position in their base can help a lot when you're trying to push that high ground, which is a similar function to the Elder Tide Ancestral Spirit.
Yeah, one other thing that I feel that Rattlesnake also quite need right now is damage, because OguraYui, all 4 of these
10
heroes
seconds
extremely
remaining.
survivable. Lifestealer is a great damage hero, but Chen isn't. Rubik isn't
5
particularly
seconds
too much.
remaining.
So they need something else. This last pickup on their off lane or on the defensive safe lane needs to
Reserve
have, it needs to be packing heat, and I'm not sure exactly what they have in mind.
Yeah, I'm curious as well.
For example, a Clockwork that's banned out right now by OguraYui, I don't think that would have been a good pick, because
No.
it would not have done enough damage.
But have Clockwork would just fill a similar role to the puck as far as he'd set up the fight, but what follows it up? Lifestealer would have to be invested into the puck or Clockwork for one thing, because he doesn't have a way to get into the fight quickly. They need that like Queen of Pain-esque hero. I don't think Queen of Pain's the right way to go, just because I don't
No.
really value this hero, but it's a similar style where you have a lot of burst damage nukes coming out from something, or they go for a bit more physical damage and just utility, which is your Nature's Prophet being able to split push around the map. I think I feel like Nature's Prophet is maybe one of the best options for them here.
10
Uh,
seconds remaining.
I guess it's okay. Jakiro's gonna get picked up here, so we're gonna see a farming Naga
Rattlesnake's
Siren.
turn to pick.
A little bit page of Mineski who picks Naga Siren. This offensive trial is looking absolutely insane. Naga Visage and Jakiro. And Lifestealer and Rubik's not gonna have a good way to deal about it. And because they have selected Chen already as their support, it really limits the option of your own long lane solos, because you never have the option to say, hey, let's
How's that work for you, Lumi?
in terms of raw damage output, Viper is one of the actually lowest in terms of like burst damage output.
Yeah.
It's actually really horrid. But at the same time, it's okay. It's really good against DK, and it's not too good against Weaver. Like, for
Prepare
example,
for
if
battle.
OguraYui picked this against a Lifestealer, I would be a lot more happy about. I'm not really understanding this particular draft.
It doesn't really go directly into counting any of these OguraYui heroes. The Viper pick, Viper Strike isn't bad against DK, but DK isn't really a physical damage
Yeah.
hero until well into the late game. He's just really that setup stun. You've got a couple right clicks, but it's much more about the nukes if you're the Dragon Knight here. So I don't think OguraYui are going to be too worried about this Viper pick, especially with all the magic burst damage they've got with the Visage, Naga Siren Riptide. They're going to have a Jakiro providing AoE disables. It's a bit of an unusual niche pick.
I think Viper's strength really comes down to her laning, or his laning, as well as the fact that if you ever make the enemy team run away, Viper just cleans up. But, I mean, is this OguraYui line I'm going to run away from Rattlesnake? Sure, if you come in with a good Dream Coil and a Waning Rift and all that stuff with Lifestealer in the middle, that's going to force a running away. At the same time, though, OguraYui could very well just tank it in the front line, especially with a farming Naga Siren, sleep, and then just go back onto you. So, I feel
Yeah.
like this jump from Puck is going to be the X factor of the team. If you jump the Weaver or the Naga and kill them immediately, then you're gonna force a run away, which you're allowing Viper to do whatever he needs to do. If the jump is bad, then suddenly OguraYui says we pop our BKBs on their DK and Naga and whatever else, and we just kill you. So I guess it comes down to execution, as it always does.
Let's talk about the lanes a bit, because both teams going something unusual. Naga Siren's going to be soloing the middle lane. Something that I think maybe Miracle's done before with Singaporean teams. Expecting to be 1v1 against the puck, but Rattlesnake, I believe, read this, because they're actually sending Lifestealer mid.
Alright. I mean, maybe I think what OguraYui, or what Rattlesnake expected mid was a Dragonite mid, which is, I guess, a lot more standard. And Dragonite versus Lifestealer, Lifestealer says, you know, pretty much a free lane. I think this one actually is going to be pretty decent for Naga Siren on the mid. We've seen it in the past. Riptide is actually pretty good, and having 6 base armor is going to allow him to have a lot of good harass, especially against the feast of Lifestealer. Whereas the otherwise Riptide against the 1 base armor of Lifestealer means, well, a ton of physical harass is going to be coming its way. But I'm quite concerned about this offensive trialing DK, because
Well,
I guess there is enough stun.
Rattlesnake have a really weak tri lane. Rubik, Viper, Chen. It's like a Rubik lift, and what are you actually setting up? There's no follow-up stuns. There's not even follow-up nukes. Chen will maybe be able to help out once he gets a creep, depending what he finds, but I still feel the Radiant team just have a far superior tri lane. Getting in range for a DK stun is not going to be easy, but just having 2 actual supports is what's going to make the big difference here.
Yeah, I think if Rubik is always in position, sure the Grave Chill and the things like Dual Breath and Ice Path, that's gonna go on the Viper, I think. And as soon as Dragonite waltz his way in for that melee stun, all Rubik has to do is telekinesis lift and then toss him back to the 2 range supports, and that should be end of the engagement. Sagam taking a ton of damage here from these 2 range support, who's really persistent in blocking this camp. I'm getting a little bit of a perfect world lag here, so hopefully that will not persist.
Hopefully nothing too much worse. The one thing we haven't talked about is bottom lane, where we have a Weaver versus a Puck in a 1v1 matchup. Weaver, he's been stacked regen, so OguraYui must have read these lanes, because this is going to be the toughest lane as far as their solos are concerned. Naga Siren doesn't really struggle mid, so I think this was a smart decision, stacking their safe lane solo with regen, just to help out in this 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, I'm getting actually a ton of lags here. Do you think I should just leave the game and come back, or?
Yeah, if it's not solving itself, we may need a quick restart. And Kawa, we switch over. There we go. Unfortunately, guys, we'll be right back. The games are played on the Perfect World Dota 2 server, which, being from non-China area, there isn't always the best connection to. As we will have our first game of today. It's a best of 1. OguraYui up against Rattlesnake, coming back in just a second. Our next best of 1, Lumi's favorite team,
Mineski
going to be taking on New Element,
Element,
who actually to me looked like one of the more impressive new teams. Like, I say new teams, I feel like they were even more impressive than Rattlesnake. OguraYui looked okay-ish, but I feel New Element were pretty solid.
They are. I'm watching the top lane right now. Just a ton of physical harass. They're not really able to kill Viper. Viper taking 2 points into his corrosive skin, which is something that we don't see too often.
Yeah. Oh wow, a very early corrosive skin. As this is, I like you said, all these spells are going to be going onto the Viper. Rubik's just going to be positioning himself behind, as we can jump back into the game now. And I guess as a result, he just wants to make them get punished every time they go for any sort of harassy. So this Jakiro as well as Visage are going to have to try and find this support Rubik, who's just sort of in the jungle looking for pulls.
Ooh, Rubik's trying to find somebody else. They smoke up with Chen. I think they're trying to go down to the mid lane for a kill. Now, again, Naga Siren now with 7 base armor. Very, very difficult pickoff. They're rotating back up top. I think perhaps... Oh, no, they're going to go on Luo. Luo's okay, though. They drew a stun. In fact, DK is going to be a good target. Are they going to come in right now? Ice Path already been used as well. And DK is being isolated by himself. The net's going to cancel the TP. Worse than net. Worse than net. The micro's not there.
He had no net. Where did he use it on?
Yeah, I guess he used it on
support?
Jakiro. That was a costly mistake.
He must have used it much earlier on one of those supports. Rubik, no telekinesis in time as well, so Rattlesnake miss out on the first blood here. And it's like you mentioned, DK in the tri-lane is just a bit of a weird decision. But at the same time, I guess it's because they didn't want to send DK mid against this Lifestealer.
I think we've seen it many times in the past where you have like a lead stunner as OguraYui, this guy's by himself. Visage taking a ton of harass. Again, dual lane versus tri, they're not going to get the kill there, but it was a good amount of harass coming out from a defensive Rattlesnake dual lane. We've seen offensive tri-lane DK in the past, featuring things like Earthshaker, Ancient Apparition, where your 2 kind of setup stuns allow the Dragonite to waltz in and then just land your stun and then secure the kill. But it's not going to be effective against Rubik, so
As far as the solo mid matchups go, it's actually going very even in CS. Miracle's gone for 2 points in mirror image to help him out in lane. So skipping the ensnare, he's basically spamming this with the bottle mana regen. He's bottle crowing and sending the illusions onto the lifestealer after he riptides to do a ton of harass. So a really interesting way to play this solo mid Naga Siren.
Yeah, he's basically constantly out of mana, bottle crawling, even picking up an invis rune early on. I really like at least 1 point of mirror image early, simply because it make you ungankable against Johnny in the mid lane. Sure, the support's going to be coming, but if you debuff the Riptide, or sorry, if you debuff the open wounds with your mirror image, you're not going to be slowed enough such that they could kill you during the duration of that gank.
Yep, well, bottom lane, Weaver, as far as his farming in CS and go, he's out farming Icy on that puck, so good times at bottom lane for Weaver. And he's doing bottle crowing as well, so not just the solo mid Naga Siren. Weaver at bottom is also doing as much bottle crowing as possible.
Yeah, Weaver versus Puck is a very Weaver favorite matchup. You use Sakuchi in, and really there's nothing that Puck could do. I like the fact that Puck is actually leveling up his Waning Rift. If you just level up Orb, there's really no way you could ever get a kill. You need to level up the Silence, and hopefully maybe...
mid lane. They're going on Johnny here with an Ice Path duel. Oh, Visage is there as well, but they're not able to actually get this kill.
Yeah, no ensnare, and that's why I think you only need 1 point of mirror image and then another point in the snare, because there's just no... The very similar way, like, he's debuffing the open wounds, the very similar way that they can't gank you can't gank them either without having the ensnare. So, meanwhile, back on the bot lane, it looks like Weaver dropping quite low, and that's going back to leveling up the Silence, making sure that he can't Sakuchi out in time. If he had Dreamcore there, that was a kill. Yeah,
whenever I look at his bottom lane, Icy's playing this really well. It seems to be actually out-harassing the Weaver. While Weaver is winning the CS battle by 4, I think Icy's actually somewhat outplaying him here. He is having some help from the Bottle Crow. He's going to pick up Boots and a Magic Stick, but I think in general, he's just playing this matchup a bit better than this Weaver is.
Yeah, I think that's more or less the byproduct of having 2 heroes that needs Bottle Crow on the Radiant team. Both Naga as well as Weaver needs it. Meanwhile, Puck is the only hero that needs it on Dire. So Rattlesnake being able to send a courier and dedicate it on the bot lane, whereas you can see that courier is kind of juggling back and forth between the other 2 lanes.
Yeah, it's now bottom looking to bring Weaver his new bottle, send it home right after being used. Naga Siren is okay in the middle lane, probably going to hope for this 6-minute rune. He's got tons of mana as well as HP in a full bottle, so he's not in too much danger for the time being.
Yep. Well, it looks like the 6-minute rune is going to spawn top. It's going to be haste. Neither of the tri-lanes are going for it just yet.
Yep.
I mean, how do you feel this offensive tri-lane is doing? Because you have a level 4 DK, which is doing okay, against a level 6 Viper, which haven't actually skilled his ultimate. There you go.
Yep.
Now with the ultimate online, anytime that a person is out of position, like that Dragon Eye a little bit early on, or the, I guess, the Jakiro's a little bit out of position early on, they would be absolutely...
And he's got phase boots. He's going to go directly in on the DK there. This is confidence. Ice Path will just stop him from going in. I'm surprised they go for that there. I guess maybe they hadn't seen the Jakiro in a while, so maybe they were hoping he had rotated mid or something, but he was there ready for it.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you went for that as well. Weaver, by the way, having a ton of trouble on the ball lane. I see they're taking a ton of damage as well. I think using it like that is okay, considering the fact that you're not really going to use it for anything else. Your Viper's not going to be ganking. It's somewhat of a waste of a cooldown, I suppose, because it's a fairly long cooldown for a weak ultimate like that.
Yep. I think the big thing here is this haste rune's been sitting here. Jakiro going to scout it out. Miracle's going to probably go up and grab it, maybe look for a rotation top, but Dire team, they've already got another ward up right on this cliff, so they'll see that upwards rotation coming out from Miracle, and they've also got a well-placed ward in their jungle at the top lane, which is about to expire, so Miracle not even going to try rotate, though. He's going straight back towards the middle lane. He's happy with how he's CSing and farming. 43 to the 40 CS of Johnny. Not much really separating these 2 players.
I mean, at the same time, you gotta ask yourself who uses this farm a little bit better. And I think Lifestealer really does.
Yeah.
Especially for the Rattlesnake team composition, Lifestealer has to be insanely huge. Looking at the damage output again, who's gonna give you that damage? Puck's gonna give you some decent mid-game damage, but most of it is all gonna come through Lifestealer. And as for Naga Siren, she's farming for what? A Drums? Maybe a Vanguard? Like, she's not farming for anything insane. So I feel trading farm actually favors Johnny
bottom lane. Icy's in trouble. He's got no mana left. His bottle's empty. And while he's got a phase shift, Yui may just chase him down here. He's going to phase shift the... just wait for it and gets a kill. Easy peasy. Time lapse is out. Bit of a misplay there. Meanwhile, top lane, there was a kill on the Jakiro.
Yeah, that was a poor phase shift to try to phase shift the Sakuchi, because all he has to do is sit there and wait for you at the bottom.
I think by then he's already dead, though.
Yeah, you have to phase shift what you can, considering you have to phase shift the physical attacks, and not the Sakuchi itself. So that's a little bit of misplay. It is a Weaver favor lineup, or matchup between Puck and Weaver, so it's not too bad and somewhat expected that the Weaver gets the kill, but we were just talking about how well he's doing because of the bottle crawling, but I guess not anymore.
Miracle gonna grab him. Oh, actually not gonna find the rune. The rune spawning bottom, which is an invis rune at 8 minutes in. He's hasted up though with that previous rune. Gonna just drop the mirror illusions. Probably go and grab the bottom rune. And then from there, we'll have to see what he wants to do. He's been farming away in this mid lane, like you say. What item are you sort of building towards? There's drums. Actually kill it top lane on the Jakiro. But for the Naga Siren, does he look to rotate or gank? Because he's got max Riptide, he's got Song of the Siren, but he's not really leaving mid lane. Not to mention, he doesn't even have a TP scroll to help out these other lanes.
Yeah, and that goes back to asking a question: what does really a farm Naga do for you or for your team? In fact, it's going to be Johnny popping the range, forcing him to go back. Meanwhile, Rattlesnake, after getting kill up top's going to now proceed to get a push. And this push is going to be particularly helpful to Icy, who's falling a little bit behind. Icy's also the player that needs to have a big game, get a quick blink dagger, and set up multiple kills. So power kills like that is really going to be helpful. A little bit of tier 2 siege, not going to really happen. Double centaur kills here, and it's time for Rattlesnake to back off.
Well, they're going to spam down one more wave. It looks like it may be time for them to back off. Yeah, they finally do decide that. We will be seeing the mech build out of Lure on the Viper. I really like this build. I think it's just adds a lot. Your team needs a mech. Viper actually not a bad choice for it. It makes the Viper really tanky and hard to kill.
Normally, I would agree with that sentiment, but at the same time, you have a Chen on your team. I feel like this is maybe the game to go a point.
It could be pipe. It could be just a pipe with a headdress.
If you want to get tank or play some utility, to me, there are better items out there. If you get a quick Acceptor, that ultimate's going to be very annoying to a hero like Dragon Knight or maybe Weaver. But back in the mid lane, we're going to see Ensnare opening. Johnny's going to rage out of there, infest into a creep, comes back out. Do we have anything else here? Nice body blocking coming out. Are we going to use a song for the kill? Nothing just yet. And Johnny, well, there's a song being activated. The 2 supports, well, Ice Path's going to get dropped out. Another Riptide comes through, and Soul Assumption. Wow, they just blew through like 3 nukes each to get that kill, and well, they got it.
A ton of nukes, a ton of ultimates, and a drum charge as well. Meanwhile, Puck actually gets a kill on the Weaver at bottom lane with the help of a Rubik rotation. So, Rattlesnake are getting something in return and forcing out a ton of cooldowns as well as that somewhat important drum charge in the middle lane to get the lifestealer kill. And they're still applying pressure at top lane. Lewis still farming. He will be going for the mech, so he picks up the buckler as well now. He will get this a bit faster than the Chen would have, so maybe they're just saying, hey, we want the fastest possible mech. Sure. We want to be pushing as soon as possible. But I definitely agree with your sentiment somewhat. It's a bit wasted on Viper when they have such a good candidate in the Chen to get the mech.
Well, since they're having a disconnect, I'm going to have a disconnect as well. Perfect World Server, too strong. And I'll make sure that we're doing okay.
We're doing okay, hopefully. Not just us. I saw Valat disconnecting, reconnecting. For those of you saying BTS disband, well, Valat can go frickin' disband as well.
What's with the angry?
Nothing angry.
Okay.
It's 3:30 in the morning with me. Will that be? I'm not angry. I had my my Otter Pop, so I'm feeling pretty good. That was my breakfast.
Your Otter Pop?
Otter Pop. Otter Pop?
Is that the?
It's like just flavored sugary water.
And then you freeze it.
Yep, you freeze it, and
we're looking for a sponsor, Otter Pop. That's your 5 minute of fame.
Ben and Grace do not like the green ones, so the green's the best. I don't know what's wrong with them, but they don't like the green ones, so I'm like, dude, I'll take all the green ones. So there's a bunch of green ones in the freezer. We'll eat some after this game.
Cool. We're back. Thank you, Kawa. And they're not back. I never understood players pausing 10 minutes in the game and do for a bathroom break.
For pausing for a bathroom break?
Yeah. It's the best of one.
You gotta go.
Can't you just pee during the draft?
It's one of those things where players are like, oh, there's a pause. I may as well go and do something because they're just impatient. I don't know. I actually think it's a bad idea to do it. You lose kind of your focus and concentration as to what you need to do when you get back.
You just piss away all your good, good whatever, right? Good.
Your good
concentration. Mojo. I just pissed away my concentration. Oh god. All right, back in the bot lane here. We're gonna see Icy dead, pretty much, right? A couple more right clicks here. Let's see how good Vis can do by himself. He's actually laying down the damage, but
how did Icy doesn't die? You just dodge soul assumptions with phase.
Yeah. I was like, oh, he has no mana. You know, when you see a no mana Puck and somebody ganking him, you're like, oh, he's dead. But yeah, he just dodged soul assumption.
No.
All right. So I like what Viper is doing. In the sense that he's like making sure DK's not farming, but at the same time, he's gonna just die to this gank. If there's gonna be a range stun, there you go, range stun. A couple more right clicks, swarm on top, ice path. Yeah, Luro could pop the buckler. Not gonna do too much of anything.
Could could pop the buckler. He definitely could pop the buckler.
He could. And he did.
I would pop your buckler.
Damn. Don't make me blush.
Mirror Illusion actually being stolen by the Rubik, and this is some push power coming out from Rattlesnake.
Yo, man.
I want to see this like Rubik get some like actual damage. Get like an Orchid for some bonus intel. Get a Manta style illusion.
Or you could just actually pull away the Creep Wave, which is vastly superior.
This is inefficient. Why are you using all 3 illusions to do it when you could
That's true.
have one of them do it and then like 1 or 2 at least hitting the tower?
Sagam, increase that micro skill, please.
Yep. Not enough APM.
Oh, here we go. Looks like Ice Path's gonna hit on everybody. Tier 1 tower is gonna be under siege. Huge swarm coming in. You gotta switch that aggro. Yeah, kill those swarm bugs. Thank you for the free 30 goal. As they say that though, these Chen creeps taking a ton of damage. Any denied attempt coming out. Nice 2-man deny at the same time. Vitch is gonna grab that one, but oh, Dreamy U in huge trouble. He gets lifted up. He's gonna get brought down. One for nothing engagement so far. In fact, are they thinking about coming on to these guys? OguraYui L?
Miracle's illusions just get blown up. Even with the extra points so that they take less damage, they're still taking a ton of damage. Weaver in trouble. There's a DK stun. Should they need it? Needs to find a target to do it on. Orb going to go in. Visage going to take a fall. Puck finishes him off. There's no waning rift now, but it looks like OguraYui are just in over their heads. They're going to lose the Dragon Knight. Chen going to pop a heal to keep them alive a bit longer. And Weaver now on the run. He's been Viper Striked here. Puck going to orb over. Really nice placed orb. He's got waning rift as well. It looks like we're going to have a kill.
Gucci, yeah, it's going to dodge on the very last attack. Got the illusion rune as well here.
No
I see still looking for his nukes cooling down. He doesn't have
He'll
a
see that
dagger.
regen and say, oh crap, I need to get out of here.
Yeah, I was going to come back here.
It's okay. Orb to the
He's
river.
got an orb and
Yeah.
he should be fine. Farms even 30 gold on his way out. I think that was a really poor choice for OguraYui in terms of trying to go back in because you already lost your tier 1 tower. What are you actually going to gain out of that particular fight when you don't need to take a fight? And to be honest, I think Rattlesnake right now is a little bit stronger, just on their hero skills alone.
Yeah, having a, I mean, this is really Puck at his peak. He's level 10. He's got the maxed out illusionary orb, waning rift. You've got Lifestealer who's just got his phase drum. Sure, he hasn't got the armlet, but he's still ready to fight and go. And I believe they didn't have the mech that fight, but they had the Chen Hand of God, which alone provided a lot of
They had
healing
the
and
Buckler
utility.
that fight.
Yeah.
That's
That's some value armor.
Yeah, that's plus 2 armor, legit, man. Now, the mech is up now for Rattlesnake, and so is the Blink Dagger. I think Rattlesnake says, we just go, push tier 1 towers, push tier 2 towers, and make sure you just stay aggressive. Don't allow the OguraYui lineup to come out, because they are kind of playing with 3 respectable tri-core lineup here. Sagam really forward by himself here. He's going to have to use the lift. I see Blinks back in. Silence comes up here. They're going to get Dreamy U, and that's 1 extra kill. Not too sure whether that was the best target to get a kill on, but a kill's a kill, and they're going to transition to a tier 1 push.
Yeah, I think they'll take it just because they're confident they can get this tier 1 tower, and they weren't sure when they'd find the other. I remember yesterday there was a game where this Puck was just sitting with the lifesteal infested for the longest time, not really doing anything. So it's one of those things where you just want to make sure you get a kill when you find it, and then look to go farm, take towers, be efficient with your time. They dropped the ward behind this tower as well as a sentry, in fact, and they will be looking to push this tower. Importantly, Rubik has stolen Shikuchi. He's going to be a very, very happy camper.
Yeah, you can see that the Radiant's trying to return with the push of their own on the mid lane, but they just don't do nearly enough damage. Glyph is going to get forced out. I believe they'll eventually get the mid-tier 1 tower, but Rattlesnake is well on their way to work on the tier 2. Actually, the rotation coming back from Rattlesnake, I feel like you could just trade that tier 1, which is going to die anyways, for a quick tier 2. Puck's going to come in trying to get the 9, not going to get it off. But yeah, very interesting decision for them to go back and make that defense.
Yep, and Weaver's even going to harass this Puck at mid lane. Icy needs to be careful. He's taking a lot of damage. He's got no blink. He's got no orb as well. He may just straight up die. Chen going to use a heal for this. Shikuchi, Dream Crawl, he goes down.
Yeah.
That's a big, big mistake from Icy.
Back in the bot lane here, looks like a nice successful defense here coming out from Dreamy U. Ice Path is going to get stolen, but Sagam in a little bit trouble as well. Huge misplace here coming up from Rattlesnake. Doom Breath is going to hit. Ice Path is going to follow through, and Sagam is going to get a send back onto him, but he's going to get brought down before Chen now in trouble trying to TP out. Psalm Siren being activated, cancel that TP, and not only will they kill Chen, they will also kill Luo. Ice Path going to get Chen, and now Luo in huge trouble. Luo trying to 1v2. He's actually going to get the Jakiro. Here comes the Weaver on the back line trying to get some damage. They are going to get the kill. Eventually, Icy comes back in, trying to 1v2. Heisler in the middle of everything. Lifestealer is an unaccounted hero that is just shredding through people on the back lines.
Yeah, and the smart Puck buyback actually helped turn things around there. So Icy making a good call to buyback, secured his team an extra kill or two, and well, it's a big turnaround from Rattlesnake. I mean, we mentioned they gave away a few silly kills. The Puck solo kill at mid, some action at, actually more action at bottom lane. Yui's L almost goes down. This feels like deja vu.
So I just want to say that they won that team fight 5v4, and I guess the puck came back in a little bit later. Imagine if it was a true 5v5 fight, there wasn't even gonna be a fight, or OguraYui was gonna get ran over. Tier 2 tower is gonna be done, and then Rattlesnake could have easily got Roshan. But Rattlesnake still wins the fight, but just making it a little bit harder for themselves.
Yep. Well, OguraYui, they're going to be having a drum up on the... They're going to mass drum. Dragon Knight, Naga Siren, no problem. Weaver going for a BKB. They're going, I guess, general stats and survivability. I don't mind the double drums. I feel like drums just, even with the aura stacking, it's still a good item just to have on its own because of the stats you get from it.
Drums, having extra drums is always nice.
Yeah.
It's never a bad thing. You want to run through drum charges.
And it's +9 to all stats for like much less money than an ultimate ult. So
Well,
it's good value, man.
I don't think it's cost effective, but in terms of plus stats alone, but you're not getting it for the plus stats. So
Yeah.
looks like we're gonna see a Roshan attempt. That's gonna get brought down. The birds are trying their best to kind of snipe the Aegis, and any hero snipes? Nothing just yet. Nice try though.
Oh, denial of the Aegis. Naga Siren denied himself. He pulls a KYX. No, sorry, Naga Siren with Illusion Rune? What?
What?
I didn't see the Naga illusions in there. Am I blind? I am blind. All I know is Naga Siren denied that.
Perfect world server. I'm gonna blame that. I'm pretty
Yep.
sure it was on the screen,
Oh.
but neither of us saw it.
I thought it was a KYXY move where Rattlesnake like self-denied it, but then I'm like, wait a second, that was Naga Siren, so
Okay then.
damn.
That's pretty huge.
Those perfect world servers. How about them, Lumi?
Damn. I'm speechless.
Well, from here, Icy looking to keep on. Icy with an Ogre Club, most likely going to. Sorry, not Icy. Johnny with an Ogre Club on the Lifestealer, most likely going to be looking at the Sanj and Yasha build. But that puts a lot of pressure on Viper to do the deeps, and he's gone for a mech here. I would have almost preferred to have seen something like a Bash or Abyssal Blade come out on him. I don't know if this is the right game for a Sanj and Yasha, especially when you've got the phase drums already for the movement speed.
I think it's pretty nice if you're going to be pushing tier 2 towers, because SNY really allows you to chase for the other kills, but if you're sieging up the base, I generally want to see a little bit more hero killing potential. I guess SNY also give you that, and on top of that, give you a little bit more survivability as well. I always think it's a nice item on Lifestealer, but and I'm not really agreeing with the sentiment that, oh, if you're playing one row Lifestealer, you can't go SNY. I still think SNY is a great item. They're going to try to set up kill on L. If the Raining Rift hits, he's dead. But the Orb's going to give everything away.
Yep, I'm just going to use the Waning Rift to burst down some creep waves. He'll be ready to go in just a second now, but a lot of OguraYui here is positioning themselves near this top lane. And this is a tri-lane farming DK who's just very underfarmed, only 60 CS, treads and drums. He's struggling here on the Radiant side.
I mean, who isn't struggling on OguraYui, right? That's the
Miracle.
team. Miracle.
He's got a lot of farm.
I mean,
Miracle's close to the highest net worth. No, that's Lifestealer, but he's got a high CS.
he's got the highest CS. He's farming for Radiance, which is, in my opinion, one of the biggest hit or miss item. If
Yep.
you farm it in a good time, you win the game. If you don't farm it in a good time, you lose the game. And I can't really exactly tell which one this is. I think it's mostly dependent on how Rattlesnake aggressively pushes. And judging from the fact, I feel like they feel like, oh, we're kind of dominating the game. We have a lot of towers.
Viper.
We have a lot more kills. Viper's trying to try to 1v2. Viper Strike's going to get dropped. No, it gets fogged a little bit and just straight out TP. No, he didn't get fogged. Perfect world server fogging.
Ooh. Dreamcore gets dropped, but it's a second too late. The TP's already happened, so Icy coming into this one. That's also a good chunk of his mana being popped now. He's going to have to use all these bottle charges if he really wants to engage. So, well played by OguraYui. A lot of teams would just been like, oh, Viper's alone, let's go on him. But they knew there was more backup coming with that T1 tower being there to TP to. The way Miracle loves to play this Naga Siren is just, this guy's like the split push king. He does it with his anti-mage. He plays here as Tinker every now and then. This guy just is amazing at split pushing, and he's going to do that with a Radiance Naga Siren, it looks like.
Radiance Naga Siren is absolutely insane. Perhaps not so good against this lineup who could kill those illusions very quickly, but against another squishy support, for example, it's really good against Rubik, Lina, that kind of support that can't really deal with the illusions as easily. Tier 2's going to get destroyed up top, and looks like everybody's going to go back or no, they're not going to go just on the high ground.
They're going to go high ground. This is a bit of a counter push coming from the tier 2 mid lane, but there's not really any real threat from OguraYui, so they continue pushing, and this is just with 4 heroes. They say, we don't really need our Rubik even.
Yeah, I mean, Rubik is defending against that split push coming out from the Naga Siren. Here we go. Ice Path is going to cancel a Tornado, which is fairly nice, but not enough really right clicks on the tower just yet.
Well, this is going to be... they actually get it down to below half HP, which I'm surprised by. I feel like the Radiant team have better counter push than that with Jakiro, with Dragon Flame Breath. They're actually going to chase it. I don't know why they're chasing when they could have just taken a fight in their base. It's going to be a lifestealer on the front lines. His Rage is about to wear off, and that's a problem because he has not got the Aegis immediately infested to a creep, knowing that he was in a bit of trouble. Icy, meanwhile, he's low on mana and actually can't use his Waning Rift at all. Shikuchi's stolen on Rubik. He's on the run, so... Rattlesnake don't lose anyone, which is probably good news for them, at least so far. They may lose this Chen. Weaver's on the chase. He's got a swarm. It looks like Chen is going to be the only one to take a fall.
Alright, with that, Perfect World Server, too strong.
Alright, let's round 4. Failed to start game.
Don't we have the technology to switch to God's camera? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Is my camera too strong?
All right, let's get things underway. We'll quickly adjust some of these problems here. There's a bit of a clash going on, guys. Do apologize that you're missing it, but unfortunately, these Chinese Perfect World servers aren't too good. And it's actually a fight which OguraYui not doing too bad on him because Miracle has got his Relic up. Wow, not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Two heroes down on the Rattlesnake time. Actually, a buyback from Puck as well, but the Naga Siren Sleep used to help OguraYui retreat. As do some Dota 2 radio casting. I know Ziori was
That was
starting
the
a
worst
Dota 2
radio casting because nobody know what the hell happened in that team fight.
Yeah, that's true.
Got called out, bro.
I'll take it.
But that green auto pop.
That green auto pop. I've still got some of the green juices. That's pretty good. We'll share one afterwards.
Do we eat them at the same time on a different end?
Lumi, come on now. Don't be ridiculous. But guys, as I said, we do apologize for the technical problems here. Jarrett is working on it so that we can get the Dota 2 stream from my computer instead of Lumi's, since mine seems to be having less connection problems to the game. It's not just us. The Perfect World servers today have decided to kind of crap themselves. We'll pop ourselves back into Lumi's point of view, just for the time being, while Jarrett works on a solution. And it's 12 kills to 10 Rattlesnake's favor. Looking at the gold graph, 7,500 gold in the Dire's favor.
The big thing for me is that Naga Siren just picked up the Radiance, and that means pushing it's going to be a lot more difficult. I think with OguraYui picking up the Radiance, that just means that it's going to be very difficult to have any type of good siege, long sustained siege. If Rattlesnake ever going to get a push off, it has to be quick and decisive, because if you take too long, the Radiance is going to push down to your tier 2 towers, and then you say, alright guys, we got to back off.
Yep.
So I think right now Rattlesnake is pretty much in big trouble time.
Even with a 7,500 gold lead?
Even with the 7,500 gold lead, because you're putting gold on heroes like Viper and Puck, which are okay, but they're not exactly insane late game. Lifestealer is also reaching its peak. The strategical importance of that deny early on by Miracle just means that Lifestealer can't play extremely aggressive with this kind of movement speed based build, zone everybody away, die, come back, and then start owning again.
It also means they just straight up can't get Raxes. They could have maybe taken a tier 3 town Raxes with an Aegis. I think that was their plan. Hey, we get an Aegis, we siege high ground, but without it, Lifestealer has to play so much more cautiously.
Yeah. So I don't know what Viper is working on next, but whatever item he does get now, it doesn't matter because it will take him way too long to complete a big enough item to be relevant in terms of damage. I think Acceptor is still the best, but I just feel like they need burst damage, which none of Viper's items really give him.
Is this all the farm Viper's got as well? 1,000 gold? Like, he's had this mech for some time, but I feel like he needs no Aghanim Scepter or BKB components on Courier. So yeah, he's really struggling as far as farm goes.
I think Viper is one of those heroes that you look to his hero kill score and see, and based on that to judge how much he is farming. Because if you just last it away, it's not going to really work out. This goes back to one of the first games of Dota 2 that we've seen from the Chinese teams. It was Burning playing Viper, and he was literally six slotted. He was like Radiance, Butterfly, Manta, Heart even on the Viper, but just you can't carry with this hero. Like, he's just not designed to be a traditional carry the way that an anti-mage or a Spectre is.
Was that the game where he got like casual relic or whatever?
Yeah, I think he mispurchased.
Yeah, he
and
mispurchased
he didn't even know he could
bunch
sell
of
the
items.
items.
Yeah.
So that was the game where perhaps he could have won, except he mismicroed or mispurchased. But still, Viper's not a carry hero traditionally in that sense.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how things scope out for Rattlesnake. I definitely agree they're in a bit of trouble, despite being really far ahead in terms of gold as well as experience to a lesser extent. Naga Siren, the Radiance timing I think was actually really good around the 24-minute mark, and he's going to use this to accelerate his farm so much, send the illusions different directions, farm camp, split
Oh,
push, and
Viper's
just
dead.
cause damage all over.
Yeah, Viper by himself. Everybody's going to try to TP
Rubik.
in. That's 2 TPs so far. Ice Path's going to hit on 2. Great Ice Path. They get Viper, and Sagam's going to get burned down instantly. Here comes Puck with Lifestealer and fight. How much can he do? That's a question. Oh, the Dream Coil, or the song's going to be used to slow the Puck at the very least. And now it's going to be 4v1. But Johnny's so tanky and so fast with that movement speed. Buyback coming out from Luo. And wow, they win a huge team fight under the
Ensnare?
Oh. Where's the
They
ensnare?
could have the ensnare on that Naga Siren TP, I thought. Chen.
Oh, Chen missed micro?
Chen a little bit missed micro.
It doesn't matter,
I'm
though.
not sure.
OguraYui, do they have buyback? That's the big question. No, Dragonite bought a BKB recipe, and he doesn't have buyback.
The 2 supports will be alive, though. They've only got 10 seconds. By the time they reach the base, they'll be coming back up.
Well, how good is the split pushing, dude? Not too good either. You can see the Naga Siren sending it mid. Using
Weaver's got no TP. He needs to just start shooting home.
Yeah.
Oh, this Naga Siren's stalling so well. He just sends the illusions, and he's going to keep on stalling. He's got Visage, some familiars as well to
Weaver's
just drop
not
their
coming
stuns.
back. Are they gonna just give up the racks?
This is...
Radiant's top
They're
tower
really
is
confident in
under
their
attack.
ability to defend just with Jakiro, Naga Siren, Illusions, and Radiance, and these familiars maybe to provide some additional stuns. Familiars just need to go in there. Start stunning heroes, creeps, whatever it is, just to slow down this push.
Meanwhile, though, Rattlesnake's very timid with their position. They're not really going in, despite Life Surge being the strongest hero, and Dragon Knight's back alive. The Naga Illusion, the new ones are coming back in. They're gonna slow down and defend this push. I felt like they definitely had enough to destroy the tier 3, but Rattlesnake is... I mean, they did, what, 300 damage to that tower? That's it.
Dire's middle
Not
tower
a
is
good
under
chunk at all,
attack.
and that was with 3 heroes picked off at top lane. The 2 supports were respawning, but without Dragon Knight up and with the position they were in, without Weaver there at all, it felt like they could have accomplished a lot more, but we'll see things sort of settle, and once again, Miracle back to split farming different jungle camps, split pushing lanes. He would love to get some of these T1 outer towers, but for the most part, Rattlesnake doing a really good job of defending them.
I think with that push, I think OguraYui is now ahead, despite the fact that they're down by what 6,000 gold. That the fact that they're down by 3k, I just think that they have better late game potential. Viper is farming for a BKB. That's gonna be absolutely useless against a illusion-based hero like Naga Siren. So Naga is just gonna be split pushing, farming both jungles with his illusions, farming multiple lanes, and there's really no way, unless he gets caught, there's really no way that Rattlesnake can stop it.
Yeah, it's got a Rattlesnake. The one sort of fallback, which we've seen a number of times, is this infested lifesteal into Puck. If you get a blink silence on something like Miracle, find the Naga Siren, he will die. He will go down. They're going to have a Roshan here, which may be just uncontested. If they get the Aegis, then we talk about the previous game plan: just push high ground with Aegis, go back to that top lane, finish the tower, and go for Raxes. And maybe, to me, they've got this like 2-3 minute window when they first get this Aegis where they just have to get a set of Raxes.
Yeah, it really helps out to kind of start off with a kill, and when you have a blink Puck like this all top lane here, Dragon Knight, you think you're safe, blink, coil, the coil's gonna get dropped. Where's the coil? Just drop the coil. No coil just yet. Open wound's gonna get dropped. And no rage coming out. The silence gonna be a little bit slow. Ice Path. Oh, they don't get that kill. No, the coil that's finally being used. They do get the kill there, but Dragon Knight's just juking left, juking right. He's still alive right now, trying to fight Icy. Icy, not gonna get picked up. Johnny's gonna get 1 kill.
He saved the call just because I think they were afraid they couldn't actually get the kill. As we are going to have Johnny now go onto this Jakiro. Jakiro TP's out just in time. Weaver now going to...
Invest. Oh, the Aegis.
Aegis is there, though.
Well, you know you talked about the Rash attempt with that Aegis.
Well, it's no more no more Aegis for the Radiant team.
They do get DK though, but DK's gonna be back alive soon.
Well, 18 seconds, and they can stall this. Now, we've seen how strong the Naga Siren illusions are, just stalling. One already headed top. Will Riptide as soon as it hits the creep wave, I imagine. And yeah, Riptide gets heroes down low. Radiance is there as well, and this is really annoying to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing much you can deal with it. Chen steals a range read.
Immediate Jakiro Ice Path Pure Breath coming out. This push is just being stalled right to a halt almost. This is going to bring in familiars as well. Tower may go down, but no way do they get Raxes, at least not without a fight. OguraYui is positioning himself such that they'll take that fight.
Yeah, Mech's gonna get force out already, and Al's gonna go right in there. They're gonna chase a Chen. Chen taking a ton of damage. Chen's gonna get brought down. That's 4v5 right now. They're gonna Ghost Scepter being popped here by the Visage, so still alive. Dragon Knight in the front line here. Dragon Knight dropping low. I think he's gonna be okay as well now. They're gonna go on Johnny. Johnny's just the one factor that they cannot deal with here. OguraYui now on the retreat. Dragon Knight comes
DK
back in,
stun.
gets a stun off, and there's no Aegis on the life, so he gets brought down here. Sagam's gonna die to the Radiant Spur. No, he forced out on the left side, and he range nukes nothing. Nice play here by Sagam. He is gonna be the surviving hero, but that doesn't matter because OguraYui successfully defends. Nobody dies. They pick up the lifestealer once again. And I just like the fact that they are good at focusing Chen down first, because I feel like that's probably the most important hero in terms of sustaining other.
Yeah.
And once Chen is dead, then even the Lifestealer can be focused down very easily.
Yeah, that we can see that Lifestealer ridiculously farmed. That one of that, well, now equal with the Naga Siren as far as net worth goes. But one DK stun as soon as that rage wears off, and he gets focused and brought down. This is where DK is a really useful hero to have against Lifestealer. Sure, DK is high strength, got a lot of HP for Lifestealer to pound away, but that DK stun is possibly the best single target stun in the game.
Yeah, and now I think Lifestealer's going back to the item that you suggested earlier. It's going to be the Basher. So that basically means that he has to use the Bash and kill the Dragonite during the duration, which I really don't think he can. Dragonite already very tanky with that 19 base armor, and with the BKB, he's not going to die to Lifestealer focus.
Yeah, well, OguraYui, I want to start taking some of these other T1 towers. Looking at, you talked about the gold graph, how Rattlesnake had been leading for sometimes 5 to 6k gold, but this is with a, 6 towers down to just the one of OguraYui. This entire gold difference is comprised of tower gold, and even more than that. If there was equal towers, OguraYui would actually have a gold advantage.
I think earlier with Naga Siren not getting the farm, like we're saying, they were getting out farmed, and Naga Siren not really trying to equalize it in the farming department. But now that statement is no longer true.
Yeah.
Naga Siren Illusion's chasing away Icy. They got the tier 1 up top, and they're going to work on tier 2. Second, by the way, thinks he's going to be initiating. He's going to have to back off.
Yeah, he's got a payload here, but he does not want to be going into 4-5 heroes. I'll guarantee it says Luo, careful. This Naga Siren's really not afraid of a whole lot here. Has Manta Style, also has Song of the Siren. He can Manta off the Puck Blink Silence now, which is really the only way he would have died previously.
Yeah, and you got definitely a mirror image off the Viper Strike and things of that nature. So,
yep.
Sagam chasing forward here for anything. Not going to find too much.
He may just keep on chasing, because the Observer would actually spotted out where these position heroes were, so it looks like Jakiro going to take a fall. They don't catch out the DK. DK would have been the nicer kill for them there. But, well, not very important kill, I would say, coming out for Rattlesnake.
They're going to try to push off of that. Jakiro, though, has been the big factor in terms of slowing down these pushes, so
yeah,
maybe it's not too bad. Kawa, if you could actually switch to Gats's... Dang.
BTS disband.
Well, we're going to be working with Perfect World Server for quite a bit then. Rattlesnake going to be pushing with this, No, never mind. They're not going to get to push off. Visage picks up a 4-staff, and that's a huge one. Dragonite is always going to survive away from Lifestealer, and if he does survive, once the Rage is done, Rattlesnake is done. Because, again, going back to what we talked about previously during the drafting stage, who is going to give you the damage output aside from the Lifestealer? We know Lifestealer could do it, but he can't do it alone.
Yeah, he's going to need... He's going to need more, and where does it actually come from? Puck with the Hex, Viper, not actually going for that BKB. He got the Ogre Clip and will go back for an Aghanim Scepter.
Well, Acceptor is good, just it's too late. The damage output at this point by Viper really can't be enough. I'd much rather see something like a Manta Style, but I'll talk about that later. As L goes back and he gets Hex immediately, he's going to get brought down. And I can't see too much of anything else. Life 2 is going to try to right-click here, and OguraYui pops the BKB, trying to focus on Chen. Chen is always the first one you want to bring down. They do bring him down. Looks like Dragonite is going to survive, and Life 2 is actually on the run. Buyback coming out from L. They're going to focus on Luo. Luo's going to be dead as well. 2-for-1 exchange so far here. Johnny goes back in and try to man-fight, but his rage is going to be running out very soon. He's sustaining a ton of physical damage. Perhaps he has to investigate himself out of there. He doesn't. He pops the drum. He runs to the left, but I think they have enough nukes to actually chase him down. Still okay right now. Maybe armor toggle. No armor toggle just yet. He armor toggle mistoggles, it seems like, and he gets brought down as well. Yet another push from Rattlesnake. That's going to fail, and I think Rattlesnake, it's running out of gas.
Yeah, and with every failed push, Rattlesnake just fall further and further behind. Naga Siren, Gold Graph is almost back to even. Naga Siren's just getting ridiculously big. This is really going to be tough times for them moving forward, trying to end this game.
Yeah, earlier when we during comparing them farm in the mid lane, saying Johnny's farming well on the Lifestealer, so is Miracle farming well on the Naga Siren, and I asked the question, what is Naga Siren really going to farm that matters? The only item that actually matters that you farm in a good timing is Radiance. If you're farming for things like Heart, Drums, Lincoln Sphere, those items are nice, but they don't have a similar impact in the game. If you look at what Miracle's doing, he's defending 2 lanes, he's farming 2 jungles, he's also defending pushes at the same time against 3 or 4 or 5 heroes. Not a single item on Naga Siren, aside from Radiance, will give you that. And that's why a lot of players sometimes go for this item, but at the same time, it's very, very greedy and very, very risky. Because it doesn't give you survivability, it doesn't help you in team fight until you finish it.
Yeah, hopefully we find some way for Rattlesnake to sort of turn things around here, but it's looking very, very grim for them. They're going to just get... They're losing tower after tower. They can't actually defend or teamfight at this point. The Aghanim Scepter is still a bit of a distance away for this Viper, and these other heroes just aren't really offering a whole lot. Rubik a little bit of a utility, but at this point stealing Shikuchi is not really a big factor in this game.
Yeah, the way that the item builds are coming out from Viper, I felt like they were almost better off picking up Razor. Like, Razor would go for these exact same items and play the exact same role. But I feel like Razor's skill set is a little bit more useful for this kind of playstyle, because at least Plasma Field will be a ranged nuke. Link is always going to be nice against Dragon Knight, for example. But Viper, like, it seems like his entire skill set is non-existent. It doesn't do anything for this game.
No, he's really sort of... he actually laned really well as well, though. In that dual lane against a tri-lane and did a lot of damage. Actually, to me, sort of looked ahead at times. We are going to see Rubik and Weaver. Shikuchi versus Shikuchi wars. Yeah, okay. Still chasing. Going to see another Shikuchi in just a second. This is always cute to watch. Icy's actually going to turn this around. Oh, the bait's
coming out here. They're going to get a Hex off, and L's going to get picked off. Nicely played.
Gem on the ground, and Rubik will quite happily take that one. So, split push is coming up top. OguraYui are using this time to their advantage here, but they need to be careful because Dragon Knight, he's going to BKB. He may have to turn around and pop it. Unfortunately, Viper Strike will go through that. It's up in 3 seconds. The Aghanim Scepter is now there. Ice Path going to hit 2. Icy as well as low. Shikuchi. Sagam's looking for a new target. Can Neo find anyone? Looks like he will do so. Visage is going to get caught out. There's a lift. Throw him back into your teammates. Centaur stun, anything. They're going to... Oh, force up to the low ground. He's actually probably going to survive this.
Yeah, Puck's got a Hex.
This is awkward.
Hex is going to be cooling down very soon. Where's this Blink?
High ground Viper Strike.
Well, Viper Strike's going to be nice, and Sagam comes in. There's a Hex coming out from Icy, and a couple more nukes going to do it. Again, they have an opening. This Viper is just so extremely survivable. They finally bring him down.
Come on, mid lane, split push.
Oh,
Miracle, he's taking Raxus. He's doing tons of damage. Oh my god, Johnny's going to go in now, bring down the Jakiro, but these Raxus have gone down almost destroyed.
Song of Siren stopping Johnny here, but not stopping the Rax because it's just on the perfect... Oh my god, he's going to get the Rax. One more hit away.
He's done it.
Wow. What a song coming out, but the counter song coming out from Sagan, he's going to lose his life, but that's no big deal because he's got buyback. This game is over, right? How is Rattlesnake going to come back from this?
That is absolutely huge. Rattlesnake are just in a world of trouble right now. They don't have answers to many of these heroes at all. They
have to get the Aegis and then just go down the mid lane and just try to throw it, because anything else I don't see happening. I guess you could get the Rax and maybe angle it for like an 85-minute game, and then hopefully your Viper and your Lifestealer and your Puck starting to get some massive damage, but that's just asking for too much.
Yeah, well, it's... When is Roshan respawning soon?
No,
my little time has disappeared.
He's respawning right now, but I guess Rattlesnake says we're going to get this tier 2 and then go back for the Roshan. That's probably the best thing they could ask for.
Yeah, the Nagasana looks like would prefer to just save the buyback, not use it right now.
Are they going back, though? That's the question. Seems like they want this wave. I think you go back and get the Aegis right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though you kind of behind him want to use whatever time Nagasone said to compensate, they got the T2 tower, get the Aegis, get Roshan, but with OguraYui at full strength now, they could maybe even contest this Roshan fight. The one thing Rattlesnake do have is some decent vision here. They've actually managed to sneak an Observer Ward into the Radiant base here at the top tier 3 tower. They've got vision near the mid lane. This is actually going to help them out a lot should they decide to go for Roshan. And we're seeing the pub ward. This is the pub ward. What? This is like what new players do, where they just plop it in the river.
I assure you that it's not Perfect World Server. It is what you see. Sagam's gonna get picked off here. No, Song to initiate or counter initiate. Here comes the Puck from the background here. Is he thinking about orbing in? Nothing just yet. Force up on the high ground, perhaps baiting for a couple here. Let's chase up on the high ground like this. I mean, let's actually check out the vision of this. Oh, that's all it sees. Hold on.
Less than suboptimal ward.
Suboptimal. Dubious. Questionable.
We're going to see Weaver catch himself an illusion here. And it's the Radiant team, OguraYui, actually around the Roshan pit, able to contest this, able to just control this location, at least for now. Even with these Observer Wards everywhere, they need to actually... Well, they had a gem which they lost on that Weaver. They've got Sentry Wards, which they probably want to plop down here. There is an engagement coming in, though.
I mean,
Viper needs to be careful.
Whoa, Miracle's going to get bashed down. He didn't use that buyback just yet. Nice Abyssal Bash coming out. That's going to secure themselves the Roshan kill. I still think they could have got the Roshan.
Buyback.
or force a buyback. Either way, you're winning. So Rattlesnake should just plop himself into that Roshan pit without. Yeah, there you go. Even using the Lincoln or using the Acceptor ultimate from Viper.
Miracle wants to come. He's got boots of travel, so he's going straight to the creep wave. Doesn't have to bypass this by going for towers in.
Song's coming out from Sagam though. Song versus Song here. Everybody's asleep. Okay,
well, Chen gets brought down, so Weaver doing a lot of damage here with his BKB Desolate. Hasn't even popped the BKB yet. It looks like Rattlesnake maybe falls back. Icy going to get stunned up by a Dragon Knight. He should be brought down here. He's going to actually phase shift once more. Can he get out of this one? Needs a blink. Not going to find it. Johnny, meanwhile, infests into a Radiant creep. He says, get me the hell out of here. Creepy McCreep.
Well,
where's his creep? How's it looking on HP?
It's looking pretty good on HP. It's the highest HP out of all the creeps, but...
Good.
I don't know, man. They lost just 2 heroes. That team fight was just so chaotic, and Perfect World Server is not helping, so sorry. We have a slideshow going on here.
I think we should be set up for the next game so that we can use my camera's perspective, or if like, we'll make some adjustments in between before this and the next game. But right now, Roshan is back up, and possibly the prize for OguraYui. They're actually going to find Dragon Knight. Oh man, that's not a good pick off here. Rattlesnake going to find a way back into this game. Caught out alone. Where's Nagasiren? Where's Weaver? These are the 2 heroes needing to do damage. Johnny going to get 4-star forward. He's going to chase down Visage here. Visage has a Ghost Scepter, forced to pop it. But Viper Strike, Telekinesis.
Yeah, he's
this
dead
is
as well.
A dead Visage.
This is the second time where OguraYui had a momentary advantage in terms of like just being near the Roshan position, and then like Naga gets picked off, forced to buyback. They want a team fight, but now Dragon Knight gets picked off, even activating his BKB. I think Lysa would just go into the Roshan pit and just solo at 1v1. Sagam trying to defend that tier 2 up top, forcing out Glyph as well, but I think Weaver is going to just bring it down. Popping the BKB even for that tower, I guess it's worth it. He's going to just TP flat out. I think with him TPing out, you got to go for the Rosh.
Yeah,
go for the Rosh now.
It seems Johnny has the exact same idea. He goes in there. He's going to get immediately spotted out by Familiars. And yeah, let's say just hit those Familiars. Oh, Roshan, he's working with the Familiars. Saves their life. Icy is looking for him. Nope, not going to get either of them. The Familiar stun. Going to make sure of that. So the Radiant team know what's up. They're going to send a Nagasiren Illusion in here. Probably drop a Riptide. And look how much damage that one Nagasiren Illusion can do with Radiance and the minus armor.
Stopping the Roshan because the rest of the team is back. There's just not enough concentration. Chen needed to be there earlier with the Medallion of Courage. Viper somebody needed to be there to cancel Lincoln so Johnny could get the open wounds off to gain some life back, but that wasn't the case.
Nagasiren farm picks up a Perseverance. We'll be looking towards that Lincoln Sphere.
Yep.
And with Lincoln Sphere, Nagasiren suddenly becomes nearly unkillable.
It's the 2 spells that are killing him is the Hex or the Abyssal Bash, and able to block one of them to pop your Manta Illusion or pop your Mirror Image is absolutely huge. And again, look, this Naga Illusion is already starting to outdamage a Life Slayer, feels like, or at least able to kind of drive him away, bring his HP pool down.
Yep, and OguraYui, they're looking like they want to contest Roshan. They're in the position to do so. They've got vision, so they know the timing of when they have to go in to make sure that Roshan isn't already dead. And it looks like now is the timing. DK, BKB going to go running in. There's no Sleep Stolen on the Rubik this time, and what an Ice Path. Catches out 3 Rattlesnake heroes. Lure on the Viper, unable to do a thing. Nagasiren still has to sleep should they need it. Chen is stuck behind the Roshan, and it looks like Icy going to try and go in, make some plays happen. Jakiro is the only one to take a fall, though, and Chen, found out by the Weaver in the Roshan pit, goes down. And this is looking like the end for Rattlesnake. They lost life, so he actually bought back for this one, but he can't even go back into this fight. Gem on the ground. No one really wants this Aegis, it looks like.
Gem, Aegis, and Cheese on the ground. That's and a Teleport Scroll, 2 of them, in fact. What a rich Roshan
Get some value.
Yeah.
He drops a drum here. Actually, no, he's just going to sell off a TP scroll, it looks like, before picking up his drum. That's getting some really good value. Song of the Siren actually used at bottom lane. That's actually a Radiant song?
It's a Radiant song, yeah.
Yeah, Miracle used it and then TP top. He's just a split-pushing king. He's bringing backup, though. Weaver is there with the Desolate. Weaver carrying the cheese as well. And Sagam, Chikuchi still is not going to be enough to hold this. Icy with double gem? What? There's a lot of gems on the playing field. There's 1 on the DK and 2 gems on this puck. Twice the gem range.
Sometimes you just got to get some gem. Make sure you see stuff.
Yep.
Never get surprised.
Well, is there any way out of this one for Rattlesnake?
I mean, if you look at the way that OguraYui was playing, it hasn't been spectacular Dota. We talked about Miracle getting picked off over here before the Roshan fight. Dragon Knight gets picked off here and delaying their own Roshan fight by quite a bit, but their items and their hero is just so much better than Rattlesnake that they are allowed to make these mistakes. And as long as OguraYui, OguraYui and Miracle carries his buyback, I don't see them losing this game. And speaking of buyback, he just spends it all on the Lincoln Sphere, so Maybe if Rattlesnake gets a good pick off on
His
Naga.
buyback's cooldown for 1 minute, so...
No, he has no gold.
Yeah, and also it's on cooldown, I'm
Yeah.
saying. So you may as well use that gold when you don't have buyback. But 1 minute, though, so if he can get
You
the...
sit in base for a minute. If you, like this
Yeah.
game right now in this position is unlosable for OguraYui. So all they have to do is not get picked off and just wait.
Well, Miracle, a very confident young player. He's actually been playing standard for like teams left, right, and center. But here he is on the OguraYui squad and carrying them.
Carrying them, yeah.
To put it bluntly, I mean, he played the solo mid, and this was largely an individual performance from him. The offensive trialing didn't really pan out too well. The safe lane Weaver has done actually pretty well. He struggled a bit in lane, but he's caught up and got a ton of farm.
I think the Weaver has done a really good job in terms of team fights, focusing the Chen. Like he's always finding that Chen and killing him first. And Chen doesn't really want to use Hanagon and Mech just for himself, right? He wants to, wait for everybody else to take some damage. But when you're getting focus bound by a Desolator Weaver, you got some tough choices.
Yep. And this Naga Siren is suddenly at 450 units killed to the 219 of Lifestealer. The net worth is not radically different, only 6,000, but Naga Siren, those last hits is insane.
People don't believe me when I say I think Naga Siren is one of the few heroes I could keep up farm to an Alchemist and Anti-Mage. But if you look at the way that he's using his illusions...
They're going off in 4 different directions.
Yeah, they're going 4 different directions. They're farming everywhere. And not only that, they're pressuring. These illusions are scouting Roshan pits or stopping Roshans by himself. It's absolutely insane what you could do with the Radiance on the Naga Siren.
Well, there's a payload in this Rubik. He's got an infested lifesteal. He's going to walk right into Miracle. Miracle hexed up. The link is already broken. You mentioned dying without buyback, and this could be it. Miracle is short 30 gold for a buyback. He is close, about 20 gold. He's going to have it. By the time they go and push, he will have buyback.
I mean, you push quick and you push hard, and you can see that right now.
Oh. And Weaver's going to be counter pushing bottom lane. This is
Yeah.
not enough for Rattlesnake, unfortunately. If he didn't have this buyback, maybe, but he has it in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, if you don't have buyback, or if you have buyback, you don't lose this game. That's how I see it. Oh, looks like Sagam's going to get picked off as well here. Yeah. Never mind.
Can't afford to have this happen, and we'll have Viper keep pushing down the mid lane. Naga Siren maybe doesn't even have to buy back here. He'll see just Viper mid, and no, there's no real threat, so want to save that gold as well as, more importantly, the buyback cooldown, because he can farm that buyback gold very easily and quickly, as we've seen.
In fact, more fight going on the bot lane here. If El's going to get picked off, is that going to be big enough? He goes BKB, goes time lapse, and can we get a bash off here? Lifestealer's going for the chase here, but ooh, one more hit. Got to be the bash, and there's the Sakuchi. He's back home free.
Oh, Puck's still chasing, though. Puck really wants this, but maybe soon with a Hex? How long till the Hex? 14 seconds. Can they chase for that 14 seconds?
No,
wait,
open
silence.
wounds in silence. I'm not sure how they gain it. There's a first hit bash. No, it's going to be a pistol. They are going to get him. No, he pops the cheese, and the chase continues.
Hex is back up in 2 seconds.
Well, Icy's the one that's getting chased ironically now. He's going to face. Where's this lifesteal? Lifesteal's like, I'm home already. Well,
Jeez. That lifestealer bailed fast.
okay then.
Buyback immediately from the puck, and I think OguraYui Miracle is ready to start ending this game, or at least chipping away at the base here of the Radiant team. Send some illusion, stop some bottom, and this time with the help of the Weaver, with the help of the rest of the team, should be able to start looking at a second set of Raxes.
Yeah, Rattlesnake just looks like they're feeling flustered because that was just a pure miscommunication in 49 minutes stage of the game, which shouldn't happen, right? You've been playing for 49 minutes. One person decides to chase, the other person backs off, and that's a mistake.
Yep, well, bottom lane is going to be where the main push is coming in. Naga Siren Illusions are at top doing additional damage, but Miracle, he's just mid lane pushing down creeps, and the tower goes down. They're going to go just engage. Sagam surviving at about 20 HP with a nice little Ghost Scepter, also 4 stars away. It's all up to Johnny now. He's got to do necessary damage. He's got no buyback for 20 seconds as well, but Aegis has been used by ZX Bingo on that DK, so the game is not won yet. Unfortunately, Miracle is split pushing at the top lane, and Visage has brought down the puck. Luo's going to be next here at bottom. He's stunned up by the Dragon Knight. Johnny, it's all up to you. He's got 2 lives, so he can die and buy back, but he's going to have to do so. He dies. No buyback even going to come. GG is called, and OguraYui, they've done it with a Miracle Naga Siren, the split pushing king.
Dire's top barracks.
And we saw about half of that.
It was the good half, though.
It was a good
I
half.
like to think.
We saw the GG half.
Unfortunately, we do apologize, guys, for next game. Hopefully, we can have a better connection to these Perfect World servers. But right now, that's it. OguraYui, they advanced. Rattlesnake are knocked out of the tournament. One of the slightly more known teams, but not really a tier 1 Chinese team at this point, especially after some of the recent shuffles. They lost King J, who was meant to be, who's essentially their star player in a lot of ways. Lamb, yeah, King J as well as Lamb.
Taboo.
Sorry, not King Chase Tongfu. What am I talking about? King
So
Chase was playing
it's-
for Tongfu.
yeah,
They lost
Lamb,
Lamb. Yeah, Lamb's the big name who I was thinking of. They lost Lamb, which was really the guy sort of making them who they were, winning them games, getting them to TI3 in a lot of ways, and winning that match against Quanting in that best of 5. But we're going to be taking a quick break, guys, try and sort through some of these connection issues to the Perfect World server, at least do what we can. Unfortunately, it's China, it's Perfect World servers, there's only so much we can, but when we come back, we'll have your next game for you, which is going to be Mineski up against Team New Element. Stay tuned.